So, let's take a look around the map. Seeing a little bit of carbon, not a lot, which kind of leans me towards scavenger in some ways. If you can secure that carbon early as a scavenger and make good use of it, you're in kind of a good spot. I also want to throw down in this general area if I can. Unfortunately, there's no iron triangle near it, which makes things just a little bit awkward. I could try going expansive down there, seeing if I could make it work, but I don't know exactly, guys. I don't know exactly. We could try going scientific down here. We could try just putting scientific up here and having our buildings way down here, but I don't know if I want to do that either. Everything's just a little weird right now on this map. We want to be down here if we can, near the silicon and near some water is what we're looking at, but I don't know exactly where to found in order to accomplish that well. I could just found here. Try and make it work.
Preliminary scans agree this is a great primary location for our new
It's a bit of an awkward location. Yeah, I hate that. Fine, we'll take that one. That's fine. It's actually okay. Alright, let's buy into steel. Steel's a little bit on the low side right now for whatever reason. And we'll just wait now. Aluminum started to come in for us. Nobody else has really got aluminum secured, it looks like. We do have a scavenger way up there. Okay, here comes aluminum for Herbert. Oh wow, aluminum actually dropped a lot faster than I thought it was going to. Where'd that drop come from in aluminum? What was that nonsense? And now we're into steel really, really late. I'm really worried about that. What happened to aluminum? Did somebody just plant on a ton of it? That must have been what happened, because nobody brought in much, unless this guy got his aluminum secured way before I saw, but I don't think that happened. That's actually a big, big, big problem for us. We might be dead based on that. These guys completely destroyed iron and aluminum immediately. I need to get a steel mill down to have any shot in this game all of a sudden. I don't even know what just happened. Why did aluminum come down from the $32 point? Bradbury must have just planted on so much of it or something to get to an expansion already? I'm so confused right now. He must have. I wish I could see what was under him. I can understand not being able to, but that completely destroyed my entire game plan. That's what I get for buying so heavily into it and being like, nobody else has any, I'm fine. Apparently other people had some, and I was not fine. Because now we can see, basically if I hadn't done that, I would have bought steel instead. I would have easily bought way more steel than I managed to get a hold of. And I would have been okay, realistically. But now I'm in so much trouble just based on this weirdness. I'm going to keep pushing for this. This is actually like really important for me. I absolutely have to have this. There we are. This lets me get down a little more steel production and try and recover from this awful, awful start that I've ended up with. Partially because I should have known that iron was going to tank real fast. And maybe not even taken this iron tile and just gone straight into steel. Based off of where these two founded. But now look at this. This is how far behind I am. I'm still HQ level 1 after having founded first. I'm in so much trouble. And it's all because of this aluminum play that I tried to make work. And it just didn't happen. I just couldn't make it work at all. Let's grab that tile and I guess this tile. Water pump, silicon quarry. See if we can make it happen. We're not in a good way at all. But we might be able to survive. We're getting plenty of steel mills down. Everybody else has steel mills down as well, but we're committing to it a bit more in the short term, and hopefully that'll pan out for us okay. We're trying to just sell down steel and get glass bought up as fast as we can. Completely ignoring power and our stock price and debt for the time being because we have to. Unfortunately. Also ignoring the fact that iron's moving up for the moment. We'll have to expand into that later, potentially. We will eventually be scrapping some of our steel. I'm actually going to buy into even more glass. That amount of glass lets us expand and then move into farms if we wish. I could push for even more, potentially. I could also just grab something like a new claim, which I think I need at this stage of the game, unfortunately. Use that to get into iron for the moment. Because these guys aren't on enough iron to run their steel mills, and neither am I, so iron's moving up very quickly, as we can see. Okay, a little bit more glass. I want a little more glass than that if I can pull it off, but if I can't, I guess it's not the end of the world. I could just sell down out of it, save just enough to upgrade, move into farms. As you can see, the steel's starting to suffer fairly quickly. We want to push to this upgrade, and then maybe move into some power and our farms. That's exactly the kind of thing we want to do right now. Upgrade. That raises the price of steel just a little bit so we can hold on to it. We'll just put down water right there. And then I'm thinking we want to maybe move out of steel for the moment, or at least soon. First, we'll try and get down these solar panels, which should be okay. Not great solar panels, but okay solar panels. Solar, solar, solar. And then we'll be looking at just getting down those farms. That's all we want to do. So maybe we... When we put down the farms, we're going to be scrapping the steel. There's no question about that. I need to keep an eye out on what's going on. I'm not seeing farms down for anybody else just yet. Everybody else kind of went into power, is what happened here. Herbert went power. Clark went power already. And that's fine. But it is why we made it to HQ level 3 when we did. I'm actually just going to let it go. I don't want to fight over it right now. My stock price is way too low for me to even think about it, in my opinion. So what we want to do now, I'm thinking, is scrap all these, get the farms down. Getting into reactors wouldn't be bad either eventually. And then I'm thinking we go for an engineering lab, and we see what we can make happen with it. A patent lab is also an option, but I like the engineering lab idea. I think we can make it work, as long as our farms are protected. So let's make sure we've done that. I'm going to actually protect the farm instead of the lab, and hope this all works out. We've got power down to maybe pay off some debt. With any luck, we'll be okay. As you can see, the food is making us ridiculous amounts of money. That's all we could hope for, is food making us a lot of money. It's exactly what's happening so far, so it'll work out okay. Glass would have also been a possibility. We just don't have the claims for it because we've committed so many elsewhere. Unfortunately, iron came back down rapidly when steel got turned off. So this tile, it was kind of nice in the short term. It might have been a mistake long term. Almost certainly was. Man, glass would be nice to be making right now. Let's actually upgrade our glass production and plan on moving into it a bit. We see 2 glass furnaces down, but that's not enough. If we can get into 3 glass furnaces of our own, we could still be in a real good spot. Making steel wouldn't be the worst thing in the world, but obviously having this power down to pay off debt fairly effectively is also very nice. So that's why we've kind of decided on going that direction. I'm actually going to spend the cash I need to make sure that's all queued up. Then I'll go ahead and I could just grab a new claim. Actually, throw that down on like water to make sure I have enough. More than enough, realistically. And nobody's making steel. Okay, one person making steel. Never mind. One person making steel at this point. Which means steel, it's kind of hard to judge exactly the direction it will go. And we're just relying on this food to carry us through and get us to HQ level 4. Bradbury's still doing very well for himself in the corner on his glass production, and the fact that he's a scavenger ignoring the entire steel market. And the fact that he got down and established and upgraded very quickly. I mean, he's just doing well for himself. That's the end of it. And I completely fell apart this game. I don't think there's any argument about that whatsoever. Let's get out of power, move into some reactors. These guys all committed very heavily into power, interestingly enough. And there are no geotherms to take. That's what I thought. I just wanted to be sure. Oh, man. This upgrade just keeps getting that little bit more expensive every moment. And it's because I put down these reactors. That's why the upgrade went up in cost. What I could do instead is do this. Just throw down steel. Upgrade immediately. Because I took all that steel back and all that money back. And then start to work my way into reactors now. And I think that would be better. See, I can only get 1 reactor down now. But steel is so simple and cheap to put down. I think this was the right call. We'll let the pirates go again. Not worry about them too much. Get down a reactor, and then a reactor, and then a reactor, and then 3 glass furnaces. Hopefully that'll be okay. Okay, they froze out 2 of our farms, but our lab is still working away. We want to get down that glass, actually. Let's just do the glass first. The reactor looks nice, but the glass looks better. Food shortage is fine for us. Unfortunately, our food did get frozen, but what we can do, we'll go ahead and sell what we have, actually. Buy a power surge, and hit the big source of food that's available right now. On top of that, these water pumps are actually doing reasonably well for us. They're not great water pumps, but they're acceptable water pumps. Maybe we just turn these tiles into power for the time being. Power's not too expensive, but it's better than shipping this expensive iron back for the moment. So that's what we'll do. Scrap here, glass. And then we could go reactors. We could go extra glass furnace, extra farm, though. Especially because farms, like, food's shorted. And so I think I like this a bit better. Let's see. Let's upgrade glass a little more for the time being. We already have so much of it down, we may as well. And then I'm also tempted to use this last claim on something like another engineering lab. Then I'll grab a goon squad for it. Hopefully it'll be fine. Okay, nice. An EMP went down over there. That's actually huge in our favor. That is massively beneficial for us. A mutiny on one of our farms is awkward. That's the only real word I have for it. That's just awkward. Look at these glass furnaces, though. 355 a second from this glass furnace. That is not going to last all that long, because glass always tanks very quickly. We need to check off-world prices and see if rushing to one is reasonable. Kinda. We can use fuel. That's a little awkward, but it's doable. Man, iron. It's good we had that iron stockpile built up. Silicon's not doing too hot, but that's okay. It's nice to have the high tile secured. It is a high tile. We could have also just upgraded food long term, I suppose. But glass, I like upgrading glass because glass is something that people avoid a bit more than food most of the time. And so it can also surprise people that, like, you can completely destroy glass if they try and make a move into it. And that was the basic thought process there. We'll get our food upgraded, though. Go ahead and sell out of glass, completely destroy that price. We're still making money on it. A lot, because we've upgraded it so heavily. But it does kind of mess with everybody else's heads on exactly what direction the game is going. Get that off-world bot. Sell some iron to get a goon squad for it. Oh yeah, teleportation would be wonderful. Let's grab that. Sure, why not? Teleportation's fantastic. Even as a non-scientist, teleportation's fantastic. Sell a little more iron. Just to look at exactly where we're at right now. We'll keep going. We're starting to push it here, but that's as high as I go. High as I go. Super risky. Super risky to have even done that, but... Yeah, see, look how close Herbert is to actually buying us. I didn't realize he had that much money on hand, or I probably wouldn't have done that. We need to be buying our own stock at this point. We've got the off-world established, you know, down. We've got... Which is really, really nice. We've got the engineering labs running. We want to get into chems, actually, before long. Maybe just scrap the glass, move on into chems, because we're using so many of them. We know they're going to be valuable. Man, everybody's actually a lot closer to buying us than I thought they were. That's interesting. We got to be buying up our own stock before long here. Absolutely. Come on, food. Do better for us. This dust storm hurts so badly. We're relying so heavily on our food production to do well. Unfortunately, our power is also on top of the iron that we could use to make our steel a bit better. But this dust storm might actually kill us because Herbert's just making so much money on HQ level 4. Whereas we decided to push for HQ level 5. Much more difficult proposition. We'll send fuel for now, assuming we can. We can't even, we don't have the cash right now. Steel is just burning money now, unfortunately. We're in a really bad spot because of this dust storm. This dust storm might actually be the death of us. Okay, Herbert's going after somebody else, which is kind of nice and kind of bad at the same time. I am very tempted to just scrap, iron, if at all possible. Look at how expensive it is just to drop these iron mines. That's so crazy. Get rid of the steel, just go into some solar panels. Despite the storm, I think we have to do this. The food is... Okay, the dust storm abated. I should have turned off food well before I did. Herbert's still in a great spot. This is terrifying. Let's get down another water pump. It looks like we kind of need to. I would love to finish getting down these solar panels. I need to send something off this off-world. This is ridiculous. I can't believe how much that dust storm hurt. Look at what's happened to food now after that dust storm even. It's just... It's awful. And Herbert, I feel like most of that cash just came off of this like water that's been flowing in the whole time. And we're in such an awful position again. Finally, we get an off-world launch going. The chems are kind of doing okay. We need to start fighting back against Herbert in a serious way. He's going into some metal mines. It would be wonderful to put a stop to that, if at all possible. I think we're still dead, though. I think we're actually just still completely dead. Okay, well, 2 claims left. What can we do with them? The water can, or the food can turn back on. We'll bid on that, obviously. Chems are still okay, not great. Kind of like most of the stuff we can get right now is okay, not great. We could go into a couple reactors. Not really what we're looking for, though. Might even just cancel this panel and be like, reactors instead. See if we can make that work. Buy up the rest of my own stock. Which might not be aggressive enough of a move, but we'll just have to see. We will just have to wait and see. We'll push. We may as well push at this point. We're already deep into it. May as well keep going. Alright, 24,000 is what it's going to cost us. We can get a carbon tile with that. Oh, but our opponent's already moving into carbon tiles. Fine. Maybe we just go patent lab. Get carbon scrubbing if we need it. Try and make that work. Well, we could also move back into glass at some point because we heavily upgraded that and we can still make good use of it. Let's upgrade some fuel for the time being. Trying to make good use of this iron right now. There we go. Unfortunately, we don't get the freeze on the engineering lab, but we shut down the iron. Ah, man, that tanked so hard and fast. That's painful. I was hoping to get to it in time. We're still launching on the Offworld, but Herbert just sitting back on HQ level 4. Making the money. Making plenty of money. Is that off power? No, it's not even off power. It's partially off the fact that he has 2 people at this point, and partially off the fact that our debt's just out of control again. The chem lab's not doing so well. Man, what happened? I mean, I know we took teleportation, and I know it was a risk. I didn't expect it to go quite this badly, though. I don't even want to do those. I want to do these. I know silicon's expensive, but we've upgraded the glass furnaces so heavily that with any luck, it'll still work out. We'll keep buying stock, trying to keep our stock price afloat, trying to make this Offworld work. These farms just did not pan out long term. There's really no other way to put it. The farms just did not work long term. Thankfully, our Offworld is keeping us in the game fairly effectively. We need to keep upgrading. The glass is fantastic right now. Huge, huge deal. We could upgrade some water to help out. We could upgrade chems long term and make that work. This patent lab, I wanted carbon scrubbing to make sure I couldn't get killed on that. Alright, let's turn the farms back on. The Offworld launches are realistically the only reason we're still in the game at all. But we're not even really in the game. I mean, not truly. Bradbury defended himself well enough. Like I was talking about, that poor start, we kind of started to recover from it, but not well enough, ever. It was just such an awful move with the aluminum and how it panned out. I would also have loved to get into some decent carbon, but Herbert had extra claims lying around, basically, when he got the buy, so it was never going to happen. We could try another Offworld. We could try. We're already kind of committed that direction. We could just head that way. I'm just going to do it. Okay, what else can we do? I really wish the food was doing a bit better. That's actually really, really good for us. I don't know why we got that for that cheap, but we're going to go after this carbon. See if it works out. I would love to get into steel as well at this point, but I don't know what we scrap to make steel right now. We'd even upgrade steel a bit, try and make that work, but do we scrap the electrolysis? Do we scrap the farms? I think we do for the moment. Like, steel is just so high. It can't be ignored, that's for sure. Get that last little bit of Herbert bought. See, 741 to actually finish off Herbert is the big concern here. It's keeping our stock price afloat, the fact that we bought so much of him, but I don't know if it's going to be enough long term to work out. Let's see, what is that? That's an Offworld market. Well, we'll just do the freeze here. That's part of why steel's gone a little nuts, is because they've tried to get into Offworld markets. Let's get out of the glass that we don't need. Go ahead and join everybody in electronics. Carbon scrubbing well on the way at this point. Can head for slant drilling. Herbert's probably pretty close to the buy on Bradbury, unfortunately. He's going to be getting there. And let's get out of water and make some chems again. There we are. Offworld, make sure both of them are launching. Now look at food. You know, I scrapped and went into steel, and that's what happens to food. I knew that kind of thing would happen, but you can always hope. I didn't even get fully into electronics, so forget it. Just go back into food. Oh well. Steel's coming down quickly. We might move those into electronics again. I'm not entirely sure. The chems might work out okay. The off-world launches are moving. They're getting some work done. Maybe not enough, but we're trying.
Just disappointed in you.
Alright, what are we upgrading right now? Steel again. Let's upgrade food again. Let's actually even cancel the steel upgrade. Go ahead and get to that food upgrade as fast as we can. Get back into more farm. No, move these into electronics again. There we are. I'm being too indecisive this game, and it's hurting me quite badly, actually. Okay. 273 is unfortunately what we're pushing for, and we're still nowhere near it. We're 100,000 away. That's far too far. Herbert is closer to the buy because he has more stock secured, and he's making more money more rapidly. And that's a big concern right now. Thankfully, the steel mills are working against him. There's an electronic shortage, which will help him out. Food is doing work for us. Chems are doing work. I mean, we've got good production down in general. I just doubt it's going to be enough, unfortunately. Especially because Herbert, he's just, like, that off-world launch is going to push him there, basically. 361. Bradbury's getting so much more expensive. He must be paying down debt, unfortunately. That's the only real explanation right now. Go ahead and blow that up. It did get the launch, unfortunately, but not much to do about that. Okay, the reactors are almost to the point of being able to be turned off, which means we would need to maybe scrap out of the chem lab and get back into some water production. Head into Nanotech. Iron's doing well for us because they keep dragging that price up. 455 is now what we need to actually execute the Bradbury buyout, which I think is still the way to go. And we don't really need to turn the reactors off yet, even, which is kind of sad. But we might want to convert them into some power. In particular would be a good idea. Ow! See, Herbert beat us to the buy. Not by much, but he got there. Which means we're really in a bad way. Alright. What do we upgrade now? We upgrade food again, I think. Maybe move back into water instead of chems. Electronics are doing fine. The off-world launch is still going. See if we can make it work, I suppose. Here's a hacker array, which is functional, unfortunately. The water's got to be better than the chems at this point. We'll just get into it. Scrap! Come on. Grab a mutiny, I think. Yep. That should be the right call. Okay, launch another one. We'll actually launch fuel off that spare one right now. Alright, food's still okay because we've upgraded it so heavily. Water's fantastic. Iron is not. Steel would be if we were in steel. Steel could be making us a killing right now. I kind of want to wait on Nanotech, though, before I swap too many things around right now. The reactors really aren't particularly good, unfortunately. Let's see. We need to push to 965 is what we're looking at right now. No debt to pay off there, so we can actually see our goal pretty clearly. And we're not that far away from it. We're making decent progress toward it. Oh, the electronics. Yeah, let's get out of the... Nope, we're not to Nanotech yet. That's what I was waiting on. I was waiting on Nanotech. We're going to wait a little bit longer for Nanotech to actually come on in and see if we can actually make this work. Okay. Scrap, 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 scrap. How much can I push to if I scrapped my off-worlds? I can get close. I just don't think I can quite get there yet. We'll move into glass once again here. We're getting there, but we're not there yet. Farms are still okay. Scrap here, sell. Scrap, sell, done. Nanotech. It's dumb. Nanotech is dumb. That's what it comes down to. It also came down to, quite frankly, here I had 11 techs, and they were generally working rather well for me. Nate the Great had 8 techs, and they were all in electronics, and so when electronics dropped, it started causing problems. I think there were also just issues in handling the large empire. That's kind of one of the downsides of going for the buys, is the idea that it gets difficult to manage at the end of the day. And frankly, the Nanotech play is ridiculous. The Nanotech play is always ridiculous at that point. Like, 200 steel, 100 glass, and 100 electronics suddenly in my pocket because I was like, well, I don't need this Offworld anymore, GG. I didn't even actually build any of the glass. That's interesting. Well, that'll teach me a lesson though, guys. I wish I might actually try and save this replay off to see exactly what happened to aluminum, because that set me so far back, this basic idea that I was depending quite heavily on, I'm just going to take the first aluminum tile, I'm going to buy up aluminum, I'm going to make it hard for them to expand. And then aluminum died. It died completely. I wasn't ready for that at all. I don't know what happened there. I want to go investigate it and look at it later and see exactly what went on there. And I was just scrambling from that point forward, basically. Nate the Great actually made a good move in sticking to HQ level 4 instead of moving to HQ level 5. And just sitting back and making money on what he had. It's like, fine, I'll do it. It's not a big deal. And it worked out well for him for a long time. I think we just maneuvered through the late game a bit better, was the primary thing that happened there. Alright. Let's get another one.